assembly. So today we're thinking about what our faith, Christianity, says to us when life gets hard.
So hard times, we all go through them, but what are they? Can you sort the good times from the hard times? Here's the first set. Falling out with friends and family, a new baby, having an accident, and party time. Well done! Here's the next set. Family breakdown, like divorce, a new home, a new job, and death of a loved one. Well done! And one more set. Losing your home, weddings, passing exams, and illness. Great sorting.
C is for comfort. God is our merciful Father and the source of all our comfort. He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others. When they are troubled, we will be able to give them the same comfort God has given us. 2 Corinthians 1:3-5. So a bit like a teddy bear can give us comfort if we're feeling sad, Christians believe that God brings comfort if we're going through a hard time. So if we're sad because maybe we've lost somebody, then we can actually be comforted by God and then use that comfort to help other people that are going through the same thing.
R is for reliance on God. As Christians, we believe we can rely on God in all situations. Paul and his friends started lots of the early churches, and they went through some really hard times. He really had to rely on God. This is what he wrote about it to the Corinthians, and you can find this in the Bible. Brothers, we want you to know about the trouble we suffered in the country of Asia. We had a very hard time. We even gave up hope for life. Truly, we believed that we would die. But this happened so that we would trust in God. We have put our hope in Him, and He will save us again. God will always carry us through, but we have to rely on Him first.
U is for understanding God's love. God is love. 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. Christians believe that God is love, that He loves us completely and unconditionally all the time. This can be hard to understand and it can be hard to believe, but it is a truth that we keep on trying to understand more every day, that we really are loved, and that can set us free to love other people.
E is for endurance, spiritual endurance. Not only so, but we also rejoice in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. When a runner pushes past the hard bit in a race, the next time they run, they're able to go further. It's the same with relying on God. If we lean on God the first time, next time we're able to rely on God even more. We have spiritual endurance. We can't avoid suffering, but we can grow in character and hope each time it happens. It's still really hard, But as Christians, we have a hope beyond this life, after death. It's written in the last book of the Bible. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning, or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. What a great hope to have! Remember, E is for endurance, spiritual endurance, like a runner on the journey of life. T is for testimony, a testimony of God's faithfulness. When a Christian gives their testimony, they're telling people about what God has done for them, why they believe in Him. As we experience God in our suffering, so we can give our testimony to help others when they are suffering. A testimony can be life-changing to people, like in this story that Catherine is going to tell about a character named NAAMAN from the Bible.
Okay, before we have the story, we're just going to have a little visual aid that will help us imagine something in the story. So hold this thought. So I'm just going to fill up these bowls with water. Put a bit more in there. So I think you'll agree these are 2 bowls with lovely clear water in. Yeah? Okay, we're going to start off by putting that in there. Grim, just give that a stir. Nice. Okay, in the next bowl, we put a bath bomb in. Can you see it fizzing? Really nice, isn't it? So if you were to have a wash, which one would you use? I think I know. I think it wouldn't be the dirty water, would it? It was a nice clear bath bomb, lovely water. Okay, so hold this thought and it'll make sense when you hear the story. Okay, so now we're going to have a story about somebody in the Bible who went through a hard time. And for this story, I'd like your help in telling the story by doing some actions along with me. So when you hear the word NAAMAN, which is the main character in the story, go like this, because he's really powerful and important and looks down at other people. When you hear the word spot, go like this, make a spot on your arm. When you hear the word better, thumbs up. When you hear the word God, point upwards. And when you hear the word river, make a river with your arms. Okay, so let's go for the story together. NAAMAN was a captain in the Syrian army. NAAMAN was rich and handsome and in charge of many, many men. One day something dreadful happened to NAAMAN. He found a spot on his arm, a red spot. He knew that this was the first sign that he had a disease called leprosy. Leprosy was a dreadful disease. You'd stop feeling parts of your body and bits used to drop off. There was no cure and people who had it couldn't live with other people anymore in case they gave the illness to someone else. NAAMAN's wife had a little slave girl who was a Jew. When the little girl found out about NAAMAN's disease, she said to her mistress, "There is a prophet in Israel called Elisha. God helps him do miracles and make people better. Perhaps if NAAMAN goes to see him, God will let Elisha heal the spots and make him better." NAAMAN's wife told NAAMAN, and NAAMAN told the king of Syria. The king was excited too and told NAAMAN that he should go straight to Israel to find this prophet that would make him better and get rid of the leprosy spots. NAAMAN bought gold for Elisha and food for the journey, and he set off. Eventually, NAAMAN found Elisha's house. When his chariot stopped outside the door, Elisha, who knew why he had come, sent a servant out with a message for him. Naaman had expected to see Elisha, not his servant, and he was a bit annoyed. Then Naaman looked at the message. It said, "Wash 7 times in the river Jordan, and God will heal you." Now Naaman wasn't annoyed, he was furious. He stamped his foot and made noises like a dog. Naaman said, "The Jordan is a muddy river. Why couldn't God tell me to wash in one of our beautiful rivers back home?" Naaman was about to go home when his servant said, "If Elisha had told you to do something difficult or dangerous, you would have done it. Why not do this?" So Naaman went to the river and washed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And when he had finished, his skin was better, no more spots, like a baby's skin, smooth and soft. God had healed him. Naaman was so pleased that he went straight back to Elisha. He offered Elisha some money, but Elisha refused because he was doing God's work. Then Naaman said that he was going to worship God for the rest of his life. Okay, so I think that there are 3 things that we can take from this story that might help us when life gets hard for us. So number 1, we can accept good help. Naaman got help from the little Jewish girl and from Elisha, and we can do the same in our life, can't we? We can talk to people that we can trust and get advice from them. Number 2, help might not always look like you think it will. So it's quite strange that Naaman had to wash in the dirty river 7 times to be healed. And sometimes advice might look not very good or not very nice to go through, but actually if we do that, then it can really help us. For instance, somebody that's got cancer might have to have chemotherapy, which makes them really poorly before they get better. So help might not always look like you think it will. So it's important to keep an open mind. Number 3, be willing to change. So Naaman, he was really proud, wasn't he? He was really important and special, and he looked down on other people. And he had to change. He had to humble himself or lower himself to take Elisha's advice and go into the dirty water. And that did work for him. And he did change his life and he started worshipping God. So we need to do that too. We need to be willing to change. So for instance, if you're being bullied or something like that, or somebody's being unkind, maybe we need to learn to be more assertive and tell them how they're making you feel. And the same for bullies as well. They need to change too, and they need to learn. So when we go through hard times, it's important to learn and be willing to change.
A cruet. What's a cruet, I hear you say? It's just a posh name for a salt pot. But it might help you remember the 5 things we've talked about today. So C for comfort, R for reliance, U for understanding God's love, E for endurance, and T for testimony. It spells cruet.
Dear God, thank you that you comfort us and that we can rely on you and that your love gives us peace. And thank you that you help us to get through things and endure them. And thank you for our testimony so that we can help and share what's happened to us with other people to help other people. Amen.